Welcome to another episode of Marvel Future Revolution. Today we're going to jump into some tips and some tricks for you as a new player and what you should expect, but we've got some other information to get into, and this might be a little bit long video, so bear with me. All right, so first of all, we got the actual launch server notice. We are exactly 2 days away from the global release for Marvel Future Revolution, which is exciting for everybody. I know everybody's looking to jump in. You need to be aware of a couple of things. There are going to be different, well, technically different launch time zones for everybody, basically in UTC hours. So be aware of that. One of the major things that you need to be aware of is that they're going to be servers in each area. So if you plan on playing with friends, make sure that you log and join into the same server. The reason why I say this to you is because Marvel Future Revolution has put out a notice about server lists and precautions. And so here we are looking down the barrel, and these are our server lists. Make sure that you choose to play on the same server as your friends. Be aware of that. Be mindful of that. They even go into great details to explain this. Server tables above refer to separate servers, not channels. Remember that. The optimal region is going to be chosen for you, but you want to make sure that you select a server, because if you don't, you will not be able to play with your friends. So choose the right server. Please remember, choose the right server. So let's get into some other things basically that's going down with the game that you as a player might want to be aware of, because it could and it could not help you. Number one, first and foremost, is going to be, who should you pick as a player? Let's talk about that. Inside the game right now, there seems to be a common consensus on the top of the food chain going all the way down to the bottom of the food chain. Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Storm, they seem to be sitting at the very top of the food chain. Meanwhile, characters like Captain America and Iron Man and Black Widow seem to be pulling up the rear, well, along with Spider-Man and Star-Lord sitting in the tail end. So be aware of that. You're gonna want to know that, but keep in mind, you want to choose the character that you want to play with and that you want to invest with. We have no idea about the release schedule for new characters or anything like that coming to the game, whether we'll get one character a month, one character every 3 months, or so forth. We don't know at this point, so be aware of that. I personally like Doctor Strange, so I've invested highly into him. Doctor Strange plays like a mid to long range character with spell castings, kind of fun for me, whereas you could have a character like Captain America who feels like a natural born tank and is still a lot of fun to play. Some characters are going to want to play as Iron Man and have that same blast range characters with the utility skills, and some people are going to want to play the dodge character Spider-Man. I know a lot of people are going to want to play Spider-Man when they log in. Trust me, choose the character that you want to play, because ultimately game's about having fun. Don't really worry about trying to race to the top, because a good leveled Spider-Man is going to be just as good as a, mediocre Doctor Strange or a above average Doctor Strange. So let's get into talking specifically about characters and what you should and should not be doing with them. Investment. You're going to spend a lot of time investing into these characters, especially if you're a free-to-play player and you're not looking to actually drop tons of money on the game. Even if you're a pay-to-play player and you're going to be the whale of whales, you're still going to be spending a lot of time with these characters. So you want to make sure that you're choosing a character that you like and that you're investing in that character specifically. For instance, when we go inside, look inside the characters inside here, we're going to want to pay attention particularly to costumes, because costumes are going to be the biggest throttle point for you inside this game. It's going to be hard to get costumes, especially the regional set costumes, so you want to make sure you're choosing those costumes, the proper ones. Don't be the person that automatically invests highly quickly into the regional set. And what I mean the regional set is the set that pops up inside your window that has this glow around it. You don't want to make sure that you're not going just straight balls to the wall on those regional sets, because they are going to be hard to acquire. Meanwhile, your non-regional sets like these, you probably most likely can get fairly easily a full set of those, and they would be particularly to one specific skill. See, that's the main difference, is that the common regional sets, those sets seem to be geared at boosting up one particular skill, whereas the regional sets, they seem to be geared at boosting skill classes overall. So I got lucky and I got 3 of the pieces of the set, but I can tell you I've been trying really, really hard to get the 3rd piece, the final 4th piece, and it has not been great. I mean, pulling boxes and so forth inside the workshop and dealing with those low drop rates. So be aware of that. So second thing, the reason why you want to pick a character, because you want to rush as quick as possible to get to level 100. Why do you want to get to level 100? Well, because all of your operations, your arena matches, all of those are locked behind levels. So the quicker you can get to level 100 is the quicker that you can get to things like the raid, and having access to all of these characters inside the raid, things like blitz mode, and having access to the level 100 maestro blitz. You want to be battling to get to all of those locations. Same thing with dark zone. The more days you get set behind because you don't get the character quickly to level 100, is going to be less days that you actually have at building up that character. So make sure that you are trying to push hard to get to level 100 with your main character. Make sure for that main character, because you're going to have to level up other characters in order to affect the squad rank of your team, which is going to have a big benefit to your characters in general. But you want to make sure that you're investing in the character that you mainly want to play, especially in things like skills, the potential, and specializations. These are highly important, especially specializations. The reason I say that is because only here inside these specializations do you truly get to kit out your character and make them completely unique from any of the other characters. And while they don't seem like they're big boosts to a character initially, trust me, they are huge boosts to your character over time, especially as you unlock some of the active traits and complete a section of, passive traits. They're going to make big differences in your gameplay. Trust me, get on those. The only way that you can get the materials in order to unlock these specializations is through the raid. You need to be at a certain level in order to access that raid. So you kind of get the point of what I'm saying. Race for that specialization. Be aware that your enhanced potential, these potential reports, are going to drop off the minute that you complete the game, and they're only going to seem to come very sporadically after that. You want to make sure that you're tooling your character in here as much as possible, so that way you can have the best benefits from the character, the things that you particularly see that you want to go for. So for instance, for me, I went specifically hard on cooldown for my characters. So you can see here we went cooldown. On the next tree, I went cooldown because Doctor Strange has a lot of powerful abilities and a lot of powerful skills, and I wanted to maximize his cooldown so that way I can get those skills out more often. You want to be measured in how you approach your alternate characters, because gold is hard to come by. So make sure that you're investing in the characters you want to. No reason to invest in specialization of your 3rd, 4th character, 5th, 6th characters. Why? Because those resources are valuable and you don't need them to affect anything else. They don't affect your squad overall. So why invest in them? Not a big deal. Not a big deal. The enhanced potentials. Do I need to enhance the potentials to help the character out? Sure, I do. Now, that brings me into things that are going to affect your other characters, specifically your Omega cards, your cores, and your battle badges. One of the reasons why you want to race to get to level 100 is because once you do, you get the Maestro Blitz. The Maestro Blitz is going to be able to drop some of these badges that have a special 6 set effect. Those are going to give super villain damage, which will help you inside of raid and the dark zone. The dark zone is especially unique because it's a mix of PvP and PvE. So therefore, you're going to have to play around with what you're doing. But if you're lucky enough to join into a good alliance that is pretty much dominating your server, running around in dark zone, you're only going to need the villain damage modifier and not to have to worry about any of the other battle badges facing off against other players. That's just the truth of the matter. I'm just going to be honest with you, however you choose to approach that. But you can get 6-star battle badges from other blitz modes, but they don't have those same core stats. So that's why it's important for you to rush for that, because you want to get those battle badges as soon as possible. You can play that mode about 3 times a day before you try to refresh it and play more times, but I wouldn't suggest necessarily refreshing blitz mode so much. I would suggest refreshing and using your gems on raid. Okay, so then we're talking about cores. Cores are a very interesting thing because I want to make sure that you are aware of this. Do not combine cores that are 2-star and below. It is a waste of your time. For every core that you try to combine, there's a success rate. Most of them seem to be about a 50% success rate, meaning you don't know if it's going to be successful or not. Even worse is you don't know what core you are going to get. So if you combine 3 red cores hoping to get another 4-star red core, you might not get a red core. You might get a green or a yellow. There's no definitive stance on it. It sucks. I don't know why they chose that randomization of that stat. So be aware, equipping the proper cores into the proper battle badges can give you some significant increase and boost. Make sure that you're paying attention to those because they are beneficial. Okay, so let's jump into skills. There is no need to unlock all of the skills, even for the characters that you want to play. No need to unlock all of the skills for even the characters that you want to play. You do not have to unlock all 4 of each skill set. Why? Because it's not a requirement, and not all 4 skills are that great. The thing that's going to turn you to tell you whether a skill is pretty good is going to probably most likely lie within the skill set. You want cooldowns that are low, so that way you can attack, you can use those skills quite frequently. You want guard break damage that is medium to high, because it's going to really help you in those regards. That is going to be your keys to victory in terms of playing. So for instance, you can see I've got a 19.4 second cooldown with a low guard break on 7 Rings of Ragador, but the difference in why I have this skill equipped is because it has a very high damage stat. And 19.4 seconds isn't a lot. Meanwhile, I can look at some of the other skills and I can see the window goes up and the ability for those things don't. If you're looking at see what skills are the most powerful, I'm going to direct you to Halfsin Gaming, because Halfsin has put together a damage lab test that I think is phenomenal, and I don't want to just regurgitate and paraphrase what Halfsin has said about some of the skills, where he ranks them from the top in the top 10 to say these skills are good. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'm not viewing other YouTubers' channels in order to get information and gain insight for myself as a player. Halfsin, I'm going to send you over his way so that way you can look at his damage lab. He's done an excellent job, and I don't want to take away from that man's shine. So keep that in mind for your skills. Next up, what should we be looking at? Okay, I want to bring up something most important to you, the player, and that is going to be related to this. Your actual in-game currency purchases, the place where you're going to either lose or win. Please, your crystals. There are a few things inside the cash shop that are going to appear that are worth pulling, and there are going to be some things that are not worth it. By and large, most of the stuff in the cash shop is worthless to you. Do not spend money on. You can ask almost any of the pay-to-play players, were these good purchases? And most of us will tell you, no, they weren't. Specifically, things that you want to look for is the Alpha and Omega membership packages and the squad rank bonuses. Those 2 packages are going to be things that you probably do want to invest in. Your Alpha Future membership is going to give you 50 crystals a day for 28 days, along with an Alpha supply box that has the ability to drop a 1 or 3-star costume, an Omega card or core, and can be acquired at a set rate. Those are pretty good. Your Omega membership is going to give you 150 crystals a day, and they're going to give you the ability to get a Omega supply box that has a 3 to 5-star costume, Omega card or core at a set rate. Keep in mind that these do not include the regional set items. They will include the common set items, but not the regional set item. They're just not there, so pay attention to that. Outside of those daily perks and those play perks, What should you be concentrating on possibly purchasing? I'm going to say this, and some people are going to be like, you're stupid. I don't really think so. There's going to be this Fear Itself costume bundle, or whatever 4-star costume bundle is available for the character that you choose to play. I would say that costume is probably going to be the best purchase for you in crystals inside the game. It's going to be a specific skill that's going to be target for its 4-set effect, but is probably going to be the best thing in order terms of like helping you out get ahead in the game. That's the truth of the matter. If you look at the Avengers in-game costumes, for instance, though, I would not suggest this costume, mostly because most of them are increasing basic attack and 1 skill, but you're missing out on the other stat effect. But that's entirely up to you. The one is basically like $30 versus this one, which is about $50. You kind of get where I'm going with this, and you can kind of see why it's probably not going to be worth it, especially if you're hunting down the regional sets anyways, which are the better items. Spending $50 on an item that's going to get replaced, unless you're whaling like that, I don't really suggest it. Just saying. And between these Omega Future membership, the Omega Squad rank up bundle, those bundles, those perks that I told you to purchase, you should end up with enough crystals to make a purchase for this 4-star. That brings up another point about leveling your characters, right? Once you hit level 10 with every single character that you have, at level 10, the game is going to make you an offer. It's going to be a cash shop offer for $3.99, $4, right? American. So whatever that translated to whatever country you're playing, for $4 American, you can purchase a 3-star full set costume bundle that comes with about 300 or 245 gems. Highly worth it. If you're not planning on purchasing this and you're really at the low end of free to play, I would suggest doing that bundle. It's going to help accelerate your character. Nothing else inside this shop is worth it. Specifically inside the draws. Please, for all that love, do not draw on any of the costumes. I would say, unless you're money bucks whales, this is probably the worst place to spend any of your crystals by drawing on costumes. Don't do it to yourself. Please don't. Just don't. The rates are really ridiculously low. The Omega cards are going to be something that you're going to have to draw on, unfortunately, because guess what? In order to get any of the 6 card sets that's in the game, you need at least 1 to 2 of these special cards. Yes, you heard me correctly. And the only place you can get these from is from the draw box. So this is probably the only place. Now, keep in mind, do not draw cards on a character you are not planning on investing in. Meaning, I want cards for Doctor Strange. Don't draw the card on Spider-Man, because there's an exclusive stat on each of the card when it drops at 4-star, and it's going to be assigned. There's no way to remove it. That is what it is. So you don't want to have that exclusive stat for a character that you are not planning on investing that card set on. Be careful about that. The Dimension box, if you have it like that, go ahead and spend it. But otherwise, stay the fuck away from this shop as well. It does drop some pretty decent items. And it does have better rates than the costume set, but I'm going to say this is, 900 gems, not so bad, but it is for whaling. Just going to be honest with you. All right. Be clear about that. So overall, that's the game. You're going to have a lot of fun playing the game. Those are about the most tips and tricks that you need in order to get by and understand what's going on. Be aware that how you spend your crystals and how you play the game is going to be largely dictated by who you are as a player. I'm not going to hit on you for being a whale. I'm not going to hate on you for being free to play. I think both parties are going to have a great time playing this game, especially depending on where this game goes in the future. Are we going to have some weird times? Probably. It's Net fucking Marble. And if you played any of their other titles, you know that we've had some weird times, some freaking bad times, and some of the best of times with some of the content that they have dropped. I am very hopeful about this game, and I'm so excited about what they're planning on bringing. So trust me, I am all in. I hope to bring you guys more content and videos over the years to come as this game builds and grows into a life of its own. I feel like it has so much potential, so much that I hope that it's not squandered by Netmarble in any way, shape, or form. Guys, the main tip that I can give you, the bottom line, have fun. Play the game. It's just a game. Don't race to the end. Don't try to whale out so hard that you get bored with the game and have nothing to do. and you get tired of the repetition of the game modes, don't do it to yourself. The main tip, have fun. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, need any advice, please stop on by, hit that like and subscribe. And until next time, peace.